Boxing truth here. Let's talk about this weak ass stoppage Terence Crawford got the other day, this past Saturday, in a disappointing outcome. Here's Crawford gaining confidence as the fight wore on. He's landing some shots, but look how weak that stoppage is. Robert Byrd, definitely on the payroll, was definitely looking out for Crawford this past Saturday, discussing how protected some American fighters are. Look, Crawford was winning the fight. He showed his class. He showed he's a difficult style to deal with. Horn didn't have the right plan. He had some success early, was landing some right hands, had Crawford shook the first few rounds as Crawford was very defensive, trying to figure out his rhythm, trying to figure out his movement. But the big mistake Horn made in that fight was he didn't fucking jab. He didn't throw not one fucking jab in that whole fight, which was very frustrating. Look, Crawford has a simple style. It's effective. It's a corny move that he does, but it's effective. He does the same move every single time. You attack him, he steps back and he counters. You attack him, he steps back and he counters. And so far, no one's been able to figure it out that it's the one move that he does, or how to combat against it. But all you need is a jab, a really good educated jab to beat Crawford. If you lunge at him, he's gonna affect you with his counters. If you try to just bull rush him, he's gonna counter. If you just try to land lead rights, which can be effective from the start, but you got to change it up. He's gonna figure it out. You got to change up the attack. And Horn, he was just trying to land the lead right throughout the whole night and not trying to set up with the jab. Now, Crawford didn't have to do much in order to get the stoppage. He landed a few shots. He was the more effective fighter overall. He landed the cleaner shots throughout the rounds. I thought the first few rounds were close. There were competitive rounds, but then Crawford started to take over around the 6th. He started to gain a lot of confidence around the 5th. But look at that, man. It's bullshit. Didn't even land a punch in that last sequence, and Robert Byrd was just looking for an excuse to stop that fight. It was bullshit. It was the same shit in the Mayweather-McGregor. You saw it in the stare down when they were face to face in the ring. Robert Byrd only looked at Horn. Didn't even look at Crawford. Just like he only looked at McGregor during their face-off in this fight with Mayweather. So Robert Byrd's a very corrupted ref. Easily could be paid off. But not to say that Crawford wouldn't have won anyways. But we'll never know what would have happened those last 4 rounds. Horn was still in the fight. He took a much badder beating against Pacquiao, and that fight wasn't stopped. The kid's got heart. He continues to fight on. He still had some left. He still was trying to win. Let the kid fight on. He's a champion. Let Crawford earn the stoppage. Let him close the show if he could, instead of taking away from his performance. Now, of course, everyone's praising. Everyone's thoroughly impressed, and what Crawford did was impressive in some spots. He was able to shut Horn down in the middle rounds. Was very effective with his step back counters, and Horn wasn't able to close the distance fast enough, which was surprising. Maybe he was off. Maybe it was Crawford's style that has something to do with that. But Crawford definitely showed that he's a difficult fighter to beat. He showed that when it comes to styles, his style is more trickier and more annoying to deal with than compared to an Errol Spence. Errol Spence is a front foot guy, comes at you, gives you more opportunities. Crawford's more like a guy that makes you come to him, makes you chase him, and he makes you play tag with him sometimes, because he step backs and counters you, and you have to watch out for his counters because he's a pretty good puncher as well. So Crawford's definitely effective, even though he only does really one move, only has one trick, but he's mastered it. All you need is a jab to beat Crawford, and Horn didn't do that. Now Spence, he has the jab, but he doesn't have the defense. I'm not sure if he can handle Crawford's power either, so it'll be a good fight. Thurman, if he ever gets back, will also be a good fight. So it's a disappointing result. definitely lost some money on this fight. I still believe in Horn though. I'm still confident Horn can beat a lot of welterweights out there. Just wasn't able to deal with the quickness, the athleticism, and the fast feet of Crawford on this night. But it was a bad stoppage, very premature. Should have been given a chance to finish and see if he can make something happen in the last 2 rounds. All it takes is one shot, especially since Crawford in the past has been hurt by lighter fighters. So Bird's premature stoppage did take away some of the shine, but Crawford definitely showed that he's effective, definitely showed that he's tough to beat, and I gotta give him some props with the way he performed in spots in that fight. He looked strong. He looked confident. He looked like he could handle the top big welterweights out there, and you know, this is his first really good, impressive win, all things considering, when you take out the premature stoppage. But he's definitely one of the tougher guys to beat out there, and he deserves to be on the pound-for-pound list. I don't have him number 1 because Horn is the first really good fighter he beat. So congratulations to Crawford on a weak stoppage. Doesn't take him much for Bird to jump in, but freaking Pacquiao almost takes his head off, and the fight is not stopped. But it is what it is. I take another L, but not usually this wrong, but on this night I was wrong. So congrats to Crawford on the victory. He moves on, and for Horn, he can rebuild. There's other fights out there. There's other welterweights I think that he can beat. Let's see if he gets another opportunity in the future. Still not giving up on Horn. Maybe it was an off night. Maybe it was Crawford style, but that wasn't the best of Horn I've seen that night. But it is what it is. This is Boxing Truth. I'm out.